get right into it. Double tap that screen, guys.
Remember where we started on Monday? That's when the president launched Operation Project Freedom. That idea was to help the U.S. Navy to escort commercial ships through the Strait of Hormuz. But later on that
day, the funny thing about Project Freedom is that we just told these ships, like, so yeah, we cleared out some mines and you could just go ahead and go right through. And they was like, so you're not gonna like guide us through? Oh, no, we're not gonna do that, bro. You could just go on through. Well, wait, hold on. What about the Iranians? What about the missiles and drones? Oh, no, you're good, bro. Trust me, bro. You just pray to God on a good faith that, you know, nothing's going to get shot at you. And that's why Operation Freedom failed, because, yeah, we could not provide real security for those vessels. I mean, we could barely provide real security for our own. So why the hell are we out there thinking that we could protect these vessels that have product on them? Like, I'm sorry, but all Iran got to do is overwhelm our defense system. And here's the thing: we can most likely defend our vessels, but if we got another one with us, they're cooked. Especially if they're just a ship we're guiding through.
Is when the IRGC launched the drones and the missiles at U.S. naval assets. So then by Tuesday, that was put on pause. And then on Wednesday, the U.S. responded by hitting some of those tankers, these empty vessels we showed you yesterday, is more than 1,000 feet long on the open seas. You have that F-18 with the Gatling gun on the nose of that plane go after the rudder for the ship, and it rendered it useless there on the sea. And then you've got Thursday, where the U.S. launched the self-defense strikes at Iran that Lucas was just showing us. We'll show you right now. Jimmy's showing the back wall here. And the map that Lucas was referring to is right in here in this elbow of water. You see it stretch around here in the Strait of Hormuz. You have 3 U.S. naval vessels that were here in the Persian Gulf and through the Strait of Hormuz. They were the ones that apparently were the targets of the Iranians. Here at Bandar Abbas, there was a reaction, naval checkpoint at Kragan here, and also the island of Qashem that we've been watching for some time. Keep in mind, the blockade starts down here, okay? It stretches from Oman to the border where Pakistan meets Iran. That's where it's been, and it's been very effective, stopping more than 70 vessels from going in and out of Iranian ports. Want to bring in Dana and Michael out?
Yeah, but guess what? According to our own CIA, they're saying it would take about, Iran could literally last like 6 months with this blockade. So they got all day. And what Fox News been telling you, they got like, what, 48 hours. When 48 hours passed, they told you a week. Now, when a week's passed, what they're going to tell you, a month? Well, don't worry. The CIA got you. It's going to take an entire half a year. So there you go.
With us, former National Security Council Senior Director. Michael, welcome back to our show today. Marco Rubio earlier today said he expects a response from Iran on the latest peace proposal or peace idea or ceasefire or end of the war. We haven't seen it yet. Now it's in the evening in Iran. What would you expect, Michael?
Well, I think they'll get back to us, but I'm not sure that we should expect that it will reflect the kind of concessions, the kind of compromises that President Trump says he needs. I think President Trump's blockade of Iranian ports is the right thing to do, but it has a longer fuse. It's a slow burn. And I think what the president ought to do is resume what he was doing Monday, which is helping by way of the U.S. military, commercial vessels to get through the Strait of Hormuz.
Bro, are you dumb? They're not going to be able to do that. Iran's just going to start firing off at them, and we won't be able to protect them. These vessels are going to get destroyed in the process, and our ships might get damaged. So that is a very dumb idea, and that's why they stopped it. And these guys are dumb enough just to keep it going. They're like, and you know what? The only reason why they want us to do this is because they know it's going to drag us into a kinetic war. We're going to get right back to kinetic strikes with Iran because they know Iran's going to shoot at us. Iran's eventually going to hit us or the ship, and we're going to have to fire back. Just like we did when we hit the 3, the 3 port bases. So but what Fox News is doing is disgusting because they were literally trying to push Trump to go back into war. They're trying to get him to say, F the ceasefire. No, we just need to strike him and make him submit instead of actually trying to bring him to the table. And as we watch Fox News, you're going to see a lot more people than just him pretty much reflect that opinion.
It will be costly. It won't be costless anyway. And it is more risky, but it is the most direct way to negate the power that Iran has over us right now by way of being able to threaten and dominate this international passageway of commerce and oil. So I think we've got to go back to that, what we did earlier this week, and break the strait open.
Okay, Michael, I have a question because obviously there's the United States and we're covering this from our perspective.
Oh, shoot. Okay, that's okay. I see why I guess dude call you dumb. Hold on, dog. I'm sorry, but you are kind of dumb. First off, they got cruise missiles, hypersonic missiles. Iran actually has one of the most sophisticated missile systems in the world. They also have underground missile factories where they built the missiles inside of mountains. They also have some of the best drone technology because Russia was out there buying it. We decided to take it and re-engineer it. So what are you talking about? And I'm sorry, but how dumb are you to say that when they were able to strike Israel and get through an Iron Dome? Like, I'm sorry, but you just proved how much you don't know shit just by saying that. Like, they were able to get through an Iron Dome farther away than the Strait of Hormuz. Like this guy.
I'm curious though about the UAE, the Emirates, what they're thinking, because they have civilian targets who are being hit by Iran, or Iran is attempting to do that. And then you have a Saudi Arabia situation where they want the strait open, they want it back to normal, but the clocks are very different here. And I'm wondering if you could give us from your perspective how they're looking at this and how we try to help them.
Yeah, I think they're seeing this as the grave threat that it is. Iran is their neighbor. I don't think they wanted us to do this in the first place, but as long as we were getting involved in military action against the Iranians, I think they wanted them to be neutered to a degree that they couldn't threaten the Gulf Arabs. And so I'm not sure we're there yet. I know the UAE is thinking about its own retaliation.
Hold on, guys. I think the boomers came out. Hold on. Did somebody say if they can get through the Iron Dome, why haven't they? They already did. They already got through the Iron Dome. Shoot, they got through the Iron Dome in June and during the 12-day war. Oh man, all right, yeah. Some of y'all really don't know anything. I mean, you know what? At this point, bro, just super chat in y'all disagreements. I'll be happy to dismantle them one by one because I'll be happy to dismantle all of your arguments, but at least super chat it in like what $2 you should be able to get a sentence in. I just can't answer all the stupidity at this point because, bro, I'll just tell you throughout the show if you don't want to super chat it in. I'll inform you.
Retaliatory actions against the Iranians, but I think they want us to stand in, finish the job, and help protect them because that's sort of the tacit or explicit arrangement that we have a lot.
Yo, bro, are you really bragging about 2 ships? 2 ships. Do you know how much ships was going through the Strait of Hormuz on a daily basis? Over 100. Letting 2 ships in is nothing. I'm sorry, but that's like a drop of water in the bucket. Like, you sound really uneducated even saying that. Like, oh, well, we got 2 ships out. Bro, it was 100. It was over 100 going in and out before this war. That means absolutely nothing. Oh, and guess what? If you're bragging about that, you want to talk about the 20 Iranian shadow fleets that made it through the strait. If you're oh so oppressed about 2 ships, bro, impressed about 2 ships. But okay. But well, you're really gonna be impressed with Iran then because they got 20 shadow fleets through.
With a lot of these countries in the region.
Michael, so we'll see if the president addresses this. He's going to be in the Rose Garden at noon Eastern time. So 2 hours from now, we'll cover that obviously live when that happens. And maybe we get some commentary on what we've been reporting on. But in the meantime, a week from today, the eyes of the world are going to be on.
Yo, and shout out to my man, Guest Dude. He said, look, depreciated brought up Vietnam. How well did Rolling Thunder work out? If Rolling Thunder couldn't defeat the Viet Cong, why think this will beat Iran? Because you don't know anything about Iran, obviously. He doesn't even know about their their missile capability. If you don't even know about that, then I'm sorry, but you are very uninformed when it comes to this war. Like, truly, like that's think about it like this. If their missiles weren't a problem, then why was that one of our main focus in negotiations? If that wasn't a problem, think about what you're saying before you speak, bro. Because remember, their main problems with Iran was their nuclear enrichment, their missile program, and the third one was, the proxies. Yes, Hezbollah, Hamas, and the Houthis. So, like, how did you not know that?
on Beijing, and the president was asked about that trip last night.
Mr. President,
Man,
is
try to
your
tell me
trip
I'm
with
wrong.
China still going ahead?
Yeah.
Which companies you
I
have?
have a very good relationship with President Xi. We've had a great economic time. China has been great for us economically, but not for other presidents. But we've done very well with China. We're going to have a meeting with President Xi. It's going to be, I think, quite amazing.
So I tried to get an answer out of Kevin Hassett. He said, I'm not going to get in front.
Oh, and here's guest who coming in again. He said, Rigby, he said Rigby, those two Berkey class destroyers couldn't even run convoy ops because they were under so much fire. Project Freedom was an abysmal failure. It's like it was that bad. Like, you guys got to understand, like, it just did not make sense. And if you actually knew Iran's capabilities, you would understand why that made zero sense. And a lot of people, well, I mean, who are for Trump, behind him on this war, don't really know anything about geopolitics. They don't know anything about Iran's military, nor the culture. So of course they're walking into this blind, believing everything that the administration tell them. Bro, they thought that we won the war just because Trump said it while strikes were still going on. Like, people think we're in a ceasefire while like missiles are being fired. It's hilarious. Like, they truly believe this.
The boss. So I will ask you, what would be the expectation out of Beijing in a week?
Well, I think there's some commercial deals and trade-related announcements that the White House is going to make. But I think in general that the Iran war will be the dominant story as we have this historic summit. I think.
All right, let's get over to the next video real quick. Let's get over to Fox Business. Let's see what they're talking about.
CIA station chief.
Oh, guys, make sure to double tap that screen and like the video, guys. Appreciate the support, by the way, but let's make sure you double tap that screen and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, guys.
Fox News contributor Dan Hoffman. Dan, good to see you tonight. Thanks for being with us. Right now, the big issue is the timeline. Does Iran come back on the peace proposal? If they do, what do they come back with? And then what does it lead to over the next 2 weeks, 30 days? What do you think?
Yeah, those are the big questions that we're asking. I think Iran will come back with some sort of a proposal, a counter proposal, because they don't want the United States to restart our kinetic strikes, which have been so damaging to their military infrastructure. But the Iranians are known for being tough negotiators. I very much doubt that whatever they send us will be the last iteration of this peace negotiation, of a deal. But it may be a step, albeit a small one. And the Trump administration will need to determine, based on what Iran gives us and behind-the-scenes intelligence reporting, whether we should proceed with further negotiations or whether it's time to dial up the military pressure, keep up the blockade, and induce a better response from the Iranians.
Were the Iranians anticipating the rest of the world putting pressure on the United States because other countries are in need of the oil and resources that come out of the Persian Gulf? Because with, say, West Texas Intermediate falling again today slightly and it's below $95 a barrel.
Yeah, actually, what is it right now? Let me go ahead and check for you guys. Actually, it is at $95 a barrel, and Brent crude is over 100. Here it is right here. WTI 95, Brent crude 100. And that's tough. That's tough. And here's the thing, before this war, guys, it was at like what, $67. If we can get back to that 50 to 60 range, gas prices will fall. But if we don't get back to that, then they'll either go up or stay stagnant. We don't need that.
And so much is actually flowing out of the region. There was a report that a Saudi Aramco and then the Abu Dhabi National Oil Company are actually sneaking oil through the Strait of Hormuz in a way that has been happening in recent weeks, and that even China has helped balance the oil market by cutting its
Oh, and shout out to my man Guest Dude. He says the issue is Civics thinks the whole military is tier 1 operators. Reality is most are clerks and janitors and office bunnies most of their career. Well, damn. Well, here's Guest Dude with that reality check for some of y'all. Shout out Guest Dude.
from
Appreciate the support,
Iran
bro.
and really kind of easing prices globally?
Well, I think Iran was banking on the damage to the global economy that closing the Strait of Hormuz would cause. They wanted to offset the benefits to the United States of the blockade, which is pressuring Iran. And I think they're doing that not only to influence our allies in the region and beyond, but I also think they want to influence U.S. domestic politics. We're heading into the midterms, and both parties are talking about affordability and oil prices and where are you going for Memorial Day weekend. So I think Iran wanted to get into that game and seek to influence U.S. foreign policy by playing with our domestic discourse on the economy.
You know, there's a lot of
Yeah, but none of this would have happened if we just didn't, strike Iran, and if we just got into a deal with them instead of fearmonger on their uranium that they were never going towards a bomb. And guys, if you don't know, they had 60% of uranium since 2021. So they had about 5 years to build a bomb and have not stepped anywhere outside of that 60%. So we can't even really say that they were going towards one. And we can't even say that they were an imminent threat, but for some reason, some people do believe that.
debate about how long they can last. And I guess you have to define what last means. But there's some estimates from the administration. Look, they're a week or two out from having to shut in wells, and they're going to, that's catastrophic for their oil industry. Other people are saying, it could be a heck of a lot longer than that, Dan. What's your read on what does last mean, and how long can the regime last here?
The regime can last a long time with this blockade. Our intelligence already came out and said it could last about 6 months. And the reason why is because if you look at a map of Iran, you look north of it, you realize there's a big old body of water called the Caspian Sea that they can transport their oil and other goods, to Russia. And they also have a railway that goes to Kazakhstan to China. So they have 2 ways that they can still get their goods to their biggest buyers, which is Russia and China. That's why they can sit there and last for weeks, because those may be longer methods of travel, but they can still get it done.
Yeah, so let me preface this by saying that's a great question that President Trump's intelligence community should be answering. I have no doubt that Director Ratcliffe has given the president his best assessment, along with Secretary of Treasury and Commerce and the entire national security team. I will tell you that those with whom I've spoken have said that Iran could last, a month or 2, maybe even 3 months. They also have a super high threshold for pain when it comes to their own citizens. They just don't care. And they've got a lot of guns, so that in the event of any
to be honest with you, it's not that they don't care. Is that they gotten too used to it. They gotten too used to living, the sanctioned lifestyle. They're one of the most sanctioned countries in the world. So when you're used to living like that, you're able to take a lot of pain. It's just the way it is. Like, you're able to take a lot of economic pain because that's what they've been living under and had to deal with their entire, pretty much damn near since the start of the regime. So they're pretty much used to it.
The IRGC and the besieged military force will take those weapons out and shoot their own population. We know that. And that's the challenge that we face with Iran.
Yeah, we know that. But yet we still got people like Lindsey Graham, Mark Levin, General Kellogg talking about we should put guns in the Iranians' hands and try to see if they'll take back their government. When we tried that during the protests, and that failed abysmally. Like, that was terrible. It's like we put guns in these guys' hands and they end up and they shot at the police and the police shot at them. And then innocent protesters end up getting sandwiched in the middle. And now we got over 3,000 people dead. Not the best plan. Oh, and that was crazy. Yo, Israel admitted to it. Bro, these guys literally admitted to put them aside in the protest. They admitted to using different ethnic groups and giving them guns to go inside the protests and cause a ruckus to start burning down mosques and vandalizing civilian infrastructure and property. So, yeah. And that's why a lot of people actually call it executions, by the way.
In terms of the leverage that we seek to impose upon them. And the question, again, that lays in the background, whether we need to dial up strikes on Iran's leadership, they'll understand that if we take another series of strikes against their leaders who are maybe not coming to the negotiating table in good faith.
Well, that would certainly get Xi Jinping's attention
Now, in good faith means that they haven't bent the knee to our maximalist demands. No, they're coming in good faith. The problem is, good faith to us is that, oh, no, you accept all of our maximal demands or you're acting in bad faith. Well, hold on. Are we supposed to be in the middle? No. Good faith to America means that you bent the knee. That's good faith to us.
Communist China's attention, because this time next week, President Trump will meet with Xi Jinping. And Dan, just China's, what will China pay attention to? Because China's role in all this, Iran an ally, China still supplying drone factories in Iran and Russia despite U.S. sanctions. But China, as I mentioned, has also pulling back on its oil exports. The swing in its oil exports has been so significant. It equals the total consumption of Japan. It's double the amount supplied by the United Arab Emirates pipeline. So that has actually helped give the United States more time, if you will, by keeping oil prices in check. So where does China stand here and now in all of this?
Well, I think this is a part of the overall U.S. bilateral relationship with China. The Chinese want leverage over the United States. They do an inordinate number of nefarious things to us, stealing our intellectual property, militarizing the South China Sea, conducting massive espionage operations just last week.
Yeah, you know what that sounds like? That sounds like an imminent threat. We ain't bombing China. I mean, shoot, China sounds like more of an imminent threat than Iran. Am I lying? Am I wrong? Of course not. Of course not. Come on now. If you don't think China's more of an imminent threat than Iran, you're tripping.
Beijing police station set up in New York City to find dissidents and local ethnic Chinese and put the hurt on them. That the guy who was running that police station is.
And shout out to my man Guest Dude. He says, for the record, a bird class, a Buraki class destroyer only has 100 or so missiles and 2 CIWS mounts. That is extremely vulnerable to sustain a swarm attack. I mean, yeah, and that's a problem. Iran can send these swarm attacks just like they did at the UAE, and missiles still got through. And yes, the UAE also has a missile defense system, but Iran overwhelmed it. What makes you think they can't do the same to our destroyers? What makes you think they can't do the same to that when they were able to do the same thing to the Iron Dome in Israel? And there was somebody who didn't even know they made it through the Iron Dome.
Going to go to jail. There are a host of things we've got to be concerned about. The Iran issue is certainly one of them. Iran was 90% of Iran's oil exports were going to China. China was providing Iran with engines.
See, it's like, bro, I mean, look, bro, I'm glad you're out of here because you're too low IQ for the conversation, Michael Thomas. Yeah, I'm talking to you. You're too low IQ. Like, bro said, well, we're jihadists. We're jihadists for telling you the truth on how the war's going, bro. We're jihadists. And that's what I'm saying. Is like, bro, MAGA's turned into leftists. That's what y'all have done. As soon as somebody tells y'all something y'all don't like, you're a jihadist. So you tell a leftist something he don't like. Oh, you're a Nazi. You're a racist. It's like y'all one and the same now. So quit being such babies. And actually refute my arguments here and stop trying to tell me that I'm wrong without really saying anything.
That powered those Shahed drones. So there's a lot to get at here. China would like to reduce or eliminate altogether U.S. influence in the Middle East. Iran is their ally, and we have to take that into account as the president goes to Beijing and begins these painstaking negotiations on a panoply of issues, including trade and arms control and AI, a host of issues. This is going to be an incredibly important summit.
Dan, always great to have your expertise. Thanks for being with us.
All right, now let's get over to the next guy here.
When the destroyers weren't hurt in any way, the people weren't hurt, but they were firing at us, and we were firing back at them.
Yeah.
And our firepower was a hell of a lot stronger than theirs, and they knocked the hell out of them.
All right, there you go. U.S. forces striking back in the Strait of Iran, straight out of Iran after 3 of our Navy warships were targeted yesterday. Officials telling Fox the conflict is not a restart of the war and is not an end to the ceasefire. And Tehran is still reviewing the peace proposal as the Trump administration is reportedly looking to restart, quote, Project Freedom. Remember, we were going to get the Oman side of the strait, all while U.S. intelligence reportedly believes Iran could outlast the American blockade because they can sustain themselves for months, according to our CIA. Here to discuss this, retired.
I mean, hey, shout out Fox News. I mean, yeah, U.S. intelligence says Iran can outlast Trump's Hormuz blockage for months. And didn't I just tell you that? Like, shoot, an hour ago? Oh, God, let's make sure we double tap on that screen, liking the video, guys, and subscribe to the channel while you're at it. Appreciate the support, by the way. If you have any question, comment, jokes, or disagreements, you can go ahead and super chat it in. I'll be happy to read it out loud and engage with it. Appreciate the support, guys. But all right, though. Let's get back to it.
Because they can sustain themselves for months, according to our CIA. Here to discuss this, retired four-star general, Fox News senior strategic analyst, chairman of the Institute of Study of War, General Jack Keane. General, you're all for restarting Operation Freedom, correct?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, first of all, let me just to draw back on where are we. I mean, give President Trump the credit for starting this operation after October the 7th, when the Israelis were obviously devastatingly attacked. It was a recognition that this region, it's got to change, and we're going to have to force that change. And
I'm sorry, but hold on now. You're trying to relate October 7th to why we're here now? I'm sorry, but October 7th, as bad as it was, has nothing to do with why we're here today. We did not get into a war with Iran, honestly, because of their proxies. We're getting into it because we're fearful of their enriched uranium, and we believe that they're going towards a nuke with no proof, no evidence, no intelligence on it. It's just a huge trust me, bro, that we're giving to the American people. But I'm gonna be real with you guys. Israel credited Hamas. They funded Hamas to undermine the Palestinian Authority because they wanted a radical regime in there, because they wanted to stoke tensions. They let October 7th happen so they could have a reason to pretty much ethnically cleanse Gaza with the world's approval. And they got it. They definitely got it. And yes, you can look this up. Yes, the Israelis did support Hamas, sending billions of dollars to them as they built the tunnels that they like to fearmonger on oh so much. But guess who gave them the money for these damn tunnels? Israel. And they knew it. And they knew they were making these tunnels, but they still did it. And you know what they even did too, to cover it up, because you could actually look this up because Qatar got it in writing. Bibi Netanyahu sent Hamas $1 billion through Qatar. But oh my God, October 7th. Trust me, Hamas is fucked up. They're evil. But let's not pretend that Hamas isn't something that the Israelis created to try to pop off a war with Gaza so they can ethnically cleanse it. It's obvious at this point.
Iran is behind everything that's happening there, and this president acted on that. Other presidents, admittedly, the threat wasn't quite as bad as it is now, but largely ignored. So that's number one. Number two, we went to a ceasefire about a month ago. From the Iranians' perspective, that's what they wanted to achieve, stop the war. And we were supposed to get a negotiated deal in a couple of weeks. It did happen. They have purposely dragging this out. It's now been a month, and we still don't have much to show for it. I think the prospects of a good deal are likely slim. And even if we do get a deal, here's the problem with any deal that we make, assuming it meets all of our objectives. To get a deal, we will have to provide some funding for the Iranians, admittedly condition-based, and also sanction relief. So when you draw back from that, even after a negotiated settlement, what do we have? We have a regime that survives and also ability to recover.
Rigby, since you wanted to be, well, I ain't going to call you dumb, but I'm just going to say you misunderstood what I was saying. When I said, I didn't say that they founded Hamas. I said that they funded Hamas. Not founded, but funded. And actually, you know what? You can damn near say they created Hamas as well through their reckless treatment of the Palestinian, the Nakba, or about 750,000 Palestinians were ejected from their homes to create the Jewish state of Israel. You didn't think that was going to do anything? Oh, and the fact that y'all kind of put them in an open air concentration camp in Gaza, and even the ones that live in Israel is segregated and abused. Oh, and then the ones in the West Bank, you guys are killing them and pushing them out the West Bank to take their homes. And you didn't think that was going to, cause any problems? Or are you just that dense?
And I think that is fundamentally flawed. That's not where we started this operation to achieve. We want Iran back on its heels, suffering significantly and susceptible to resistance from their own people, internal pressure. So in my judgment, I think we got to see reality for what it is. We should go back and execute Project Freedom.
I'm sorry, but this logic is crazy. You know, bro, what I got to say to that was it's only a genocide when the population's increased, by the way. No. I heard that argument back when October 7th was like really getting out of control. And they were saying, well, the population increased, so it's not a genocide. And I'm just like, so if I got together, I don't know. Well, F it. Let's say Asians. Sorry, Asians, I got to do this to y'all. But let's say I got together 1 million Asians and I exterminated them all, each and every one of them Holocaust style, right? But 1 million Asians were born the next day. Or my bad, let's say 1.1 million. Wouldn't it be kind of reckless for me to say, oh, I didn't genocide them? What you mean? 1.1 million was born the next day. If anything, I just prepared. I just left slots open. Okay. I was preparing for the next generation. You would look at me like I'm fucking crazy. So it's kind of crazy how y'all can make that argument.
Hormuz away from the Iranians, secure it and open it for navigation, and also at some point get some assistance in doing that. And then we have to unleash the Israelis. They have a very comprehensive bombing campaign that they're going to conduct that deals with leadership, it deals with energy, it deals with all the weapon systems we still have to go through. Remember, from the outset, we don't talk about it very much, but it is a fact. The Israelis have always had more air power in this fight than we've had, and they still have more in it right now. So what they can do comprehensively here in terms of air power is significant. Remember, when we went to the ceasefire, we only had 2 weeks left. That was a month ago. And the U.S. can do limited bombing. The Straits of Hormuz, it doesn't look like a complicated operation when you just draw it on a map and put a circle around it, because it's a relatively small geographic area. But the layered defense extends well into Iran at some distance to be able to protect the Straits of Hormuz. So there's huge resources tied up in that. So we would be able to do some selected bombing in support of returning to combat operations, while the main effort for the United States would be to open up the Straits of Hormuz. The Israelis would take up the majority of the bombing campaign.
I'm sorry, but man, some of y'all just sound a little bit too dumb. Like depreciating asset. I'm sorry, but it's not. I don't even know why you're using that language towards another male. I don't know. It's kind of gay, but you go ahead. But anyway, though. So how is it going for Islamic? I'm sorry, but bro, you sound like such a leftist. Islamic Nazi propaganda. You sound like such a fucking leftist, bro. Like, bro, I'm sorry, but grow a pair. But anyway, all right. So you're pretty much saying I'm swallowing Nazi Islamic propaganda, but I'm just telling you the truth of what's happening. Was there regime change? No. Does Iran still have the Strait of Hormuz closed? Yes. Have we been able to destroy all their missiles? No, we have not. Oh, and they still have 60% of their navy, which comprise of kamikaze speedboats and those little speedboats you've been seeing with the missiles on top, with the missile launchers on top of them. So how is that propaganda when I'm literally just telling you what's going on? Here's the problem. A lot of you guys just don't want to hear the truth. All you want to hear is that, oh, the U.S. is winning. Oh, everything is going our way, but it's not. I mean, look at the gas price. Look at inflation. Look at the fact that we've not completed anything and it's been over 60 days. Like, how long are you going to hang on to this delusion?
To bring us to an endpoint that I think makes a lot more sense in terms of where we're heading now.
So the Saudis did not want us, according to the Wall Street Journal, did not let us use our own bases, either the Kuwaitis, during Operation Freedom. They were concerned that they were going to be targeted, like the UAE was targeted, and we wouldn't come to their defense. I'm really not sure why they would think that. And that was part of the pushback, then why they stopped it after 2 days. Really? But the president says he's willing to put it into place.
All right, please tell me, Michael, please tell me how I'm wrong, because you haven't said anything but I'm wrong. So trust me, I've already cooked depreciated assets and shown how he don't know anything. So please tell me how I'm wrong, and I will proceed to show you how you're an idiot and don't know anything. Who else? I mean, please, I'm taking all takers here. USCM, please, because some of you guys really don't know anything at all. He's like, no, you just don't want to tell the truth. Dog, I'm sorry, but the administration is the one not telling you the truth about this war. I'm the one keeping it real with you. And the crazy thing is, it's going to be like a month down the line. You're going to be like, damn, That man S.E.T was right. He was right. I was being a sucker. Yeah, I know you are. For a what? A war in the Middle East that has been proven over and over again to be a bad idea. It's almost insane for you guys to support this when every intervention in the Middle East has not gone our way. But all right, man, keep making that insane move, expecting what? You keep doing the same thing, expecting different results? Insanity, huh?
I also think we should use Karg Island as a point of leverage. You attack us, you lose the entire thing, all your oil producing facilities.
Yeah, well, one of the concerns that people in the administration have, and it's a legitimate concern, is that Iran has already demonstrated, obviously, they have the capability to hit oil infrastructure and energy targets of our allies and partners in the region. They did it at Qatar and the natural gas, and they've also have done it with the UAE and Saudi Arabia. But we have an ace here up our sleeve, so to speak. It's Karg Island.
See, look, dumb comments like this too. You're telling us what you think is true. No, I'm giving you our own fucking intelligence. I'm giving you what articles are saying from around the world. That's where I'm getting this from. I'm not just spewing this off the top of my head. Actually, I was literally telling you guys about how it was a failure. Bro, actually, oh my goodness. They was proving me right in the beginning of the video when they was bringing up I think it was the Washington Post that came out with the article that was pretty much proving that, oh yes, Iran collapsed for months, even though we got a blockade. And I was telling you that at the beginning of the stream, you were calling me a liar. Then 2 articles shown by Fox News themselves pretty much proved me right. So where do you think I'm getting it from? Well, let me know. Or you can just look it up and you'll find the article yourself. You wasn't such a lazy bastard. Some of y'all are just lazy. But all right, though, let's get back to it. And guys, don't forget to double tap that screen and subscribe to the channel. Appreciate the support, guys.
And we're obviously blocking it now from any transport coming out of there. And that represents 90%, of their oil resources. So clearly the blockade over time will force an economic collapse. And I've said for me.
Nah, here's the thing, though. Like I said, if you got a map of Iran, you'd understand that the Caspian Sea is north of it and they can still transport their goods through there. And then they got a railway to China that they could also transport their goods to. So they can still get their goods or their oil to their 2 biggest buyers, which is Russia and China. That's why they say they can last for months. That's why.
The outset that they are willing to.
My bad. Shout out to my man. Yes, dude. He says, "Set too many goy slop consuming boomers in the chat tonight. Getting real old having to constantly debunk their trash, bro. I mean, they just eat it up. They just eat the Fox goy slop up like it ain't nothing, man. I mean, the shit must be like filet mignon or something, seasoned right and everything, fall off the bone, because y'all just eat it up like it's that good." And here's the thing, then y'all come to these chats and get your ass roasted and then prove that you don't know anything. And you just been listening to what Fox News told you? I'm sorry, but if you're listening to what Fox News tell you about this war, you were the most uninformed about this war. I'm watching it just to debunk it for y'all.
Stand economic peril and even suffering to their own people, much more than what we look at through our values in terms of what's reasonable. Right. They are not reasonable. They don't care about their people. But we can hold Karg Island hostage. If you're going to attack Qatar's natural gas or the Saudis or the UAE's oil fields, we're going to begin to take Karg Island away from you in terms of physical destruction. Right. And we communicate that to them very, very clearly, unequivocally, what the intent is here. Yes, we still hold all the cards, Brian.
Right. Just real quick,
you hold all the cards, but we can't get the strait open. If we held all the cards, I mean, we wouldn't even have to negotiate with Iran. They'd be bending at the knee, ready to give us whatever we wanted. But I mean, it was only yesterday where they were firing off at one of our allies. Doesn't sound like we hold all the cards. I mean, we can't even get a vessel through the strait without it getting shot at. I mean, what cards do we hold again?
Washington Post says 75% of the mobile launchers are in place and 75% of its missile stockpiles in place.
Ooh, man, bro. Say it again for him. Say it again for this guy.
Cards, Brian.
Right. Just real quick, the Washington Post says 75% of the mobile launchers are in place and 75% of its missile stockpiles in place. That's contradictory of almost everything.
And it's not, no. Be real, Fox. It's not the New York Post that's saying that. It's our intelligence that is saying that the New York Post is reporting on. That's what you see how he's kind of misleading you, because if you go to the article itself, it'll tell you that this is coming from intelligence, inside source. So no, it's not the New York Post saying it. It's our intelligence saying it.
We've heard. Who's telling the truth here?
Yeah, that's not accurate. I don't know what the exact number, but 75% is way off the mark. Now, look at, they do have ballistic missiles deeply buried in the storage site. This was one of the reasons why the timing and urgency of this operation began, because after the 12-day war, what the Iranians recognize is how vulnerable their ballistic missiles are. So they began to put the majority of them on deeply buried storage facilities, and they got Chinese assistance in terms of the type of fuel and other things. They were putting that program on acceleration. Israel was getting more and more concerned about it, as were we. They get to the point where the numbers are so great that we would overwhelm the defenses of U.S. bases and also Israeli civilian population centers. That was a sense of urgency in moving forward. We can block the entrances to those storage sites. We can't eliminate because they're so deeply buried, but we can make it much more difficult to get that stuff out of there. What they have been doing is, obviously, during a month-long ceasefire, they're excavating and taking launchers out and also ballistic missiles out of there. We can go back in there. And
so let me go ahead and take you to the article. Like I said, since bro ain't want to give it the real, I'm going to have to give you the real. So this is the Washington Post article that they're talking about. See here, U.S. intelligence. Whoops. Really, New York Washington Post? That's how you're about to do your boy? All right. Well, let's just go to here. Washington Post. The U.S. intelligence says Iran can outlast Trump's Hormuz blockage for months. You got the Middle East Eye. CIA says Iran has 70% of pre-war missiles and can ride out blockade for months. The Telegraph. Iran still has 70% of its missiles, says CIA. And then, of course, you also got, I believe, Front Post, which is, I believe they're in India. Front Post. Yeah, Trump says Iran's missiles decimated. CIA dispute claim, though. So while Trump is pretty much saying, oh, we decimated their missiles, CIA comes right up and says, no, we didn't. No, we didn't, bro. Hold on. No, don't tell them all that now. Hold on. And then you got Hexef out there talking about we took out 90%. Nah, more like 30%. But yeah, I mean, what do we need to go down more articles? You want to see more? Like, do you really like? There's posts for days. Just look it up, guys. It's right there in front of you. I mean, don't be lazy now. I mean, you can sit here and try to call me a liar, but hey, I'm reading the articles. What about you? Oh, guys, make sure to double tap that screen and like the video, guys. Appreciate the support, by the way. Y'all being real ones just by tuning in. So double tap that screen and subscribe to the channel.
Systematically deny them the use of those launchers and those missiles that are in those storage facilities. That is absolutely physically possible using air power.
Oza, I just showed you multiple sources, bruv. I showed you multiple sources. So what? You're just, and then, bro, here's the thing. Like, what? Do I need to show you only right-wing publication? I'm showing you centrists. I'm showing you from around the world. Not just the Washington Post is reporting this. I hope you know this. Multiple news sources are reporting this. So to sit there and just kind of put it all on the Washington Post, no, it is not. It's not just them.
Yeah, Keen, it's my message. I think the theme we're getting from you, they don't get that. Don't have the message yet. We got to go back. General Jack Keane, thanks so much. Meanwhile, straight ahead.
Oh, the truth is now defeatist crap. See, yeah, now y'all really acting like liberals now. Now y'all really acting out. Your sources are defeatist crap because you don't like the information. Now you're upset. Please, guys, do not act like liberals. MAGA, I beg of you. You are turning into liberals. Don't do this to yourselves. All right, guys, let's get back to it. Because this is just getting embarrassing at a certain point.
Great weekend.
Be sure to like and subscribe for all the Fox News latest on YouTube and catch full.
Like, your boy can't even get a real argument. All I'm getting is you're wrong or but that source is like, can I get an argument? Can you tell me that I'm wrong?